I done woke up, slept on me, trying to eat with vultures. Y'all look frail, let me feed the culture. Can't get full of the lead and coke, huh? Still sober? Y'all OD, follow me. Where the rain follow me, king. Yeah, I know the king, Martin Luther King. You ain't really gonna throw, boy, you in a dream. Wake up, y'all don't want it. Down to the wire, better put Marlo on it. And let's un chico malo, homie. And if I'm scared, I guess I don't know it. Cause I'm still going still right where the heat at. And where I ain't supposed to be, that's where I be at. And I spit that, sit back, listen to the truth for the sky crack, and the Lord gets back. Or somebody wants to get back, and they click clack, leave you been back, thinking I just intact. Never left, but I've been back, cross on my bit neck, and I don't rap gospel, I live that. But I'm nothing but a gimmick. You see me in a club, funny, you was in it? Skip a cosign, shout out to the homie Kendrick. And all I hear is crickets when I run into the critics. Oh well, show tells me a lot when they tell me to rock. Keep my eyebrows raised, smell what I'm cooking. And the sales may drop, yeah, the meal may stop, but they ask for the truth, yeah, I'ma do it. They like how you do that now. Sound kinda nice, boy, who that down? Is everything real good, true and fair? But you probably wouldn't listen if you knew that down. If you knew that down.
Just a little faster right now, doesn't it? As they stand alone right now. No cornermen. They're just ready to make the ring walk for the biggest fight that's on.
Yes, sir, Bob out of Coast to Coast. CBS, the King Chintuck. It's the one only ghost with the shadow in the front. It's a nasty ass day outside today. We're gonna go forward with it. Let me get one thing out the way first. I believe my audio should be okay. Audio should be okay, but just double checking it anyway because you know how my shit is. I usually start off by saying that I know that it's going to be. Is that sounding okay? That is sounding a little low, isn't it? Is it sounding low? I wonder if it's sounding low. Is it sounding low? No, we good. No, we good. Sounding low. No. We are good. We are good. Okay, man. I appreciate y'all for being here. A little bit of people that are here right now. Like I usually say, man, this is obviously it's nasty outside, man. Just got back from work. Y'all don't really want to hear about that anyway, but the truth is, and the matter is that it's nasty outside where I'm at. And I do want to talk about, oh shit, I did not upload the thumbnail. Once again, I did not upload the thumbnail. Hold on one second. I did not upload that thumbnail. I need to get that first before I do anything. That has to be addressed. So man, look, man, this whole PBC thing, man, look, I'm gonna look at it like this. PBC is a sinking ship, as we all know. And, people have some mixed feelings about it, but the truth of the matter is, man, I think personally that it is a sad thing. I think it is personally a sad thing. Now I'm seeing people saying, oh, this is the best, I actually had a couple of comments in my other video, people saying that this is the best thing that ever happened to boxing. They say it's the best thing that ever happened to boxing. Well, what's going on, Ice Man? I appreciate you, man. I appreciate any bit of people that come here, man, and supporting. I appreciate y'all, man. I don't ever get happy over anyone's downfall. That's number one. I never really do. I look at it like this, man. At the end of the day, this is a promotional company. And have they put on good fights in the past? Yes. I mean, let's not be completely naive here and act like PBC put on horrible fights the whole time they were in existence. No, that's not true. What's going on, my guy Tycho? No, that is not true. That is not true. But at the end of the day, I will also agree that in the past couple of years, except for the exception of last year, PBC has been a train wreck. With the exception of last year. Hey, Tycho, I know I'm about 15 seconds behind, but can you just give me that little usual thumbs up or thumbs down for the audio, man? And if I'm too loud or whatever, just let me know. I know you will, man. You know, I look at it like this, man. I don't understand why somebody would be celebrating unless they positively can see the future and know that something good is going to come out of this. Now, so far, I am even seeing promoters, actually, other promoters. Now, look, I can understand why another promoter would be happy or taking shots or whatever. What's going on, brother? I can understand why other promoters would be happy about PBC at the end of the day. But first off, what do y'all think about the picture? You see Steven Espinoza on the right, drowning. Look at Al Heyman. Look at Leonard Ellerby, bro, throwing the life jacket. He don't give two fucks about Espinoza, but he's trying to save Al. He's trying to save Al. You know, with all the money that Mayweather talks about and all that money that he got, bro, you know, why don't you save PBC, Floyd? I mean, you be Floyd balling all the time, right? Talk about he got hundreds of millions of dollars and shit. Why don't you save the sinking ship, Floyd? You know, I do have a conspiracy theory that I've always thought. I have always thought, and I shit you not, I've always thought, well, no, let me not say that because people are going to think that I'm being dead ass serious and then they're going to say I'm stupid or whatever. I've always had a theory that I believe that Floyd runs, let me check something here, that I believe that Floyd runs PBC, bro. I think he does. I think he has a major influence on PBC. That's for one thing. But one of the things I do want to talk about, though, in regards to all this is, I don't know if you guys, well, obviously you guys are seeing because you guys are like me and you guys watch boxing and you guys are on outlets or whatever. Is it me or are people seeing like 4 different versions of what's going on with Canelo? It's like people are like, I can tell you what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing and everything that it's pointing to, but I swear you'll talk to the next guy and it's like he's seeing something totally different. He's seeing something totally different when you talk to the next guy. So you got people over here saying, you know, oh, I told you Canelo was a duck. And then you got other people out here saying, no, it's not his fault. It's not his fault. You know, I don't know how, what do y'all think? Y'all really think that he's ducking, bro? Listen, I'm going to tell you like this. The blame I put on anybody is the person that voids a contract, bro. That's the blame that I put on the person. When a contract is created between 2 people, you honor it, bro. And it's kind of funny. And I told you what was going to happen. I told you what was going to happen if Canelo decided, hey, this is not right. This is not. Of course, they're gonna say that did y'all see what Eddie Hearn said about PBC? Did you see the article where Eddie Hearn says that he's got no problem with the Benavidez fight and that he's willing to make the Benavidez fight but the problem is they won't go to PBC. So whose fault is that now? And that's another thing I don't understand about PBC. And this is why I can understand like kind of like what's going on right now, man. You look at the first pay-per-view, right? Are you talking about in regards to Eddie Hearn? Like what Eddie Hearn said? Let's look at the article that Eddie Hearn said. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. It's right here. I already have it up. Okay. Eddie Hearn blasts PBC for obstructing Canelo and Benavidez. They're not willing to let their guys. Okay, let's get into it. Promoter Eddie Hearn blasted PBC for their focus on self-interest, creating roadblocks between Canelo Alvarez and managed fighter David Benavidez from happening. He's basically saying that he's saying that PBC isn't willing to allow their fighters to compete on other networks. It must be PBC or they won't allow their fighters to achieve greatness. Because PBC does not want to work with anyone, and now they're fucked. If I work with Benavidez, what does PBC do? We're only going to make the fight on PBC. So basically, I don't know. Why can't y'all put it on both? First off, why can't you put it on both? They've done that before. They put Wilder and Fury. If you remember, they put Wilder and Fury 3, I believe, on both networks. You could have watched it on Fox, and you could have watched it on ESPN, I believe. I believe they did do that with that fight. Look, man, everyone's just pointing fingers right now. That's all it is. Everyone's just pointing fingers. What's going on, ringside? Everyone's just pointing fingers, and I've never been the type to be like happy on anyone's downfall. I mean, but at the end of the day, you do have to point out that the mistakes and the shit that's going on. What I don't understand is how people can see what's going on with Canelo, and you got 5 different interpretations of what's going on with Canelo. There's only one. There's only one. This is a true fact. This is true. This is true in investigation techniques. I swear to you. Did you know that if there's a group of people, 5 people, and we all witness an event, right? I'm going to give you a scenario right now. Let's say, I'm going to go something crazy over here. Let's say 5 people are driving in a car. I want you to picture this. 5 people driving in a car. We're driving down a dark street at night. And some craft, like a UFO, craft comes out, got weird lights, all types of crazy shit, right? 5 people. You got the driver, you got the passenger, and you got 3 in the back. We stop, we get out the car, and some crazy shit starts happening, right? Now, picture this. Let's say afterwards, the fucking Men in Black, I don't even know if you believe in the Men in Black or the police, whatever. It doesn't even have to be that. It could be a crime. I'm just using that as an example. I'm out there sometimes. The point is that let's all say we witnessed an event. Did you know that when they take us back to the station or they take us back to the room where they're going to question us, did you know that if all 5 of us have the exact same story, they know we're lying? They know you're lying. If you have the exact same story as everyone else that witnessed the event, they say you're lying. They know you're lying. They say that y'all got together and y'all created and concocted this lie. That's how police a lot of times know when people are involved in something, when their stories match 99.9%. So does that mean that the story should be radically different? No, that's not what that means. What that means is that everybody has a certain thing that they gravitate to. And I'm getting to the Canelo situation because I'm gonna explain this right now. If we all witnessed an event, right, and they go to talk to, I don't know, let's take Ringside, for instance. They go and talk to Ringside, and they got Iceman in one room, they got Just Blaze in one room, and they got Tycho in the other room, right? Tycho might have been looking at the lights, bro. He might have been like, damn, these lights are crazy, right? Just Blaze could have been like, bro, everything got quiet. I noticed everything got quiet. Iceman could have said, hey, I noticed the temperature dropped. And I don't know, maybe Ringside is like, bruh, I saw something else. We all, right? So we all were there. We all saw the same exact thing go down. However, you were gravitated to something, right? We gravitate to things. So when an event, that's why when people watch a boxing fight, if you take biasness out, perfect fight, for example, would be the Loma and Devin Haney fight. Let's take the Loma and Devin Haney fight. I don't know how many of y'all think that fight was close. And I don't know how many of y'all think it was a robbery. I've watched the fight 3 times. And I can tell you this as a boxing fan, every time I rewatch any fight, I see something that I did not watch the first 2 times, especially if it's a fight that went the distance. Okay? Especially if it's a fight that went the distance. I always see something that I did not see the prior 2 times, right? You got people that don't like Loma, right? So they're going to say Loma lost. You got people that don't like Devin. They're going to say Devin lost. I'm not talking about these people. I am talking about the actual people that watch this fight. Ringside could sit there and go, well, you know, I did notice that Devin was throwing these body shots that he did not throw in these prior fights. I think he did good body work. Somebody else might have just been focusing on the times when Loma was pressuring him. What I am saying is people see the different things, right? They have different, but to me, when it comes to this Canelo and PBC shit, how you have one side, you have a person saying Canelo is running scared, and then you got another side that's saying, no, they avoided it. There's only one story, bro. There's only one version of what happened. There is not multiple versions of what happened. PBC tried to change the contract or change the agreement. And I told y'all that no matter what Canelo did, see, you see what a lot of people are saying now, right? They're saying, come on, man, he just wants to fight Jamal, and he's running scared from David, and now he dodges a bullet. I'll be the first to say that, in my opinion, I believe Canelo has been hesitant in fighting David, but I've also gone over why, and it's not because he's scared of the kid, bro. It's not. It's not. When you fight Canelo, you get the biggest payday of your life. The biggest payday of your life. I believe he doesn't like the kid. He doesn't like his father. He doesn't like their camp. He doesn't like the smear campaign that they do. And in return, Canelo is thinking, yeah, I might beat his ass, but why would I want to give him that payday, bro? That's why I think Canelo has been hesitant in the past, because of the way that they went about it. I don't think it's because he's so special and I see him as such a dangerous opponent. I just showed y'all last live that I watched David Benavidez' last three fights. And when he fought Caleb Plant, the first 6 rounds, he did not do to Caleb Plant what he did to Boo Boo. He did not, bro. He stayed his distance. If you remember the fight prior to that, Caleb had just knocked out Darrell like in a devastating fashion. People didn't even think Plant had power like that. Remember that knockout? And everyone was like, oh, shit, right? I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I doubt it, bro. I agree with what G Funky had said in my other live. I just think that he knew that Caleb Plant at that time was going to be his hardest test at that time. Still might have been, actually, when you look at it. When you look at David Benavidez's resume, who's the hardest fighter you think he's faced? Who gave him the most problems? Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant. Right? But when he fought Boo Boo, he didn't fight like that. Right? This is why I look at things. Listen, I've been wrong on fights before. I'm not saying that I haven't. Yeah, I'll get to Devin in a second. I took a clip. I'm going to show it to you again. When David fought Boo Boo, do you know what I saw? And I already know they're going to say you hate. I don't hate David Benavidez. I do think that the monster fits him. It does. He's a pressure fighter. He's relentless. He doesn't stop. He's got good stamina. He goes upstairs, downstairs. But we all know his defense is not great, bro. Defense is not great at all. The moment that Boo Boo fight started, he was throwing this overhand right. It wasn't like a straight right. It was more like a downside, like a downwards right hand. And he was trying to he kept throwing it over and over. It reminded me of when Tank fought Santa Cruz. When Tank fought Santa Cruz, he threw that uppercut like 90 times in a row, bro. Tank was just throwing that uppercut from round 1. Uppercut, jab, uppercut, right? You know, throw another punch, but then uppercut again. And he kept throwing it until he landed it. And I remember, I don't know if it was Shakur Stevenson or I don't know if it was Devin Haney or it was somebody. They were clowning him on Twitter because I think prior to that fight, he had an interview where he said, yeah, man, the fans ain't seen me go in my bag yet. I can go in my bag any day of the week. And I've only shown y'all like 10 or 15% of what I could do. And they went on Twitter and were like, yeah, for somebody that says that he could go in his bag anytime, bro, you're just throwing the same punch over and over again. It got the job done. But the point is that when you see someone doing that, it's sort of like you ask yourself, like, is that your game plan, bro? From round one, David was throwing this punch right here. Let me show it to you.
Still astounds me how he may start to throw combinations. Big right hand, and down goes Andrade. That would be for David Benavidez to not only be the first guy, big right hand by Benavidez. Andrade still.
You saw him get caught at the end right there because he leaves himself open. Bro, you do that on Canelo, bro, I don't know. I just don't think it's going to end well. That's just me. I'm not saying he's going to fight him like that. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that if I can see little things like that, I mean, I just don't think that it's ever going to go. If they do. And I also said, bro, I don't believe David and them is as eager as they're making it seem. I don't think they're as eager as they're making it seem. Let me ask you, if you really wanted to fight somebody, right? Think about this. If you really wanted to fight somebody and you knew that your antics, the shit that your father's doing or the shit that you're doing and coming out with lies, right? Coming out with lies, all that's going to do is piss the other dude off. I'm asking you, if you wanted to fight somebody, you truly wanted to fight somebody, and you knew that the way you was acting and the way you was handling, going about getting the fight, if you knew that that was actually pissing the other guy off and pushing him away, why would you keep doing that? Why would you keep doing that? That's what I don't understand. No, you're right. No, and Tycho, listen, you're right. And just like with Tank, he knocked him out. And look, I said in my other live yesterday, he kept throwing the right hand until he landed it. And when he landed it, he took him out. But my whole point is that when you're throwing something over and over again, right? And when you're a pressure fighter like David, you're gonna. The only way I think he's gonna beat someone like Canelo, right, is if he tries to walk him down. I don't think he's gonna, even with his length and his reach, I don't think he's gonna outbox Canelo. I just don't, because I don't think, number one, I think people really underestimate Canelo's defense. Even though Canelo, this version of Canelo that we see right now today, he throws maybe one or two punches at a time, right? But it's the same thing, Tycho. Hard to knock it if it's working, right? I saw someone say, well, look, when he fought Jamel, he didn't really do anything, bro. He just, look, 1-2 punches at a time. He won every round just about, right? It was working. It had Jamel on his back foot. It dropped Jamel. It's working, right? So I understand you in that aspect, Tycho. I do. If it's working, you keep doing it. But I still think that if you do something like that against Canelo, I don't think it's going to work out well for you. But what I don't understand is that you have to, if we're going to be completely honest about this whole thing, right? You have your opinion and then you have facts, right? My opinion, I don't think, damn, it's raining bad out there. Hold on, let me close this window. Damn, that's bad, bro. I don't want it to get on my shit. You have your facts and then you have an opinion. In my opinion, I think Canelo is not in a rush to fight David. But like I said, I think it's because of the way that they handle themselves. And I think he just doesn't want to give him a payday. I really, truly believe that. Now, us fans, we don't want to hear that shit. We don't want to hear that shit. I'm tired of the bullshit, honestly. I am. But we can't act like we don't see it. We can't act like when something is going on and you get tired of it, right? And you know, when you get to work and you're like, man, I'm tired of this shit, bro. I'm tired of it, right? That's true. You're tired of it. But you can't act like it's not there either. It's there still. It's there. So this whole thing, some people think it's the greatest thing that ever happened with PBC or whatever. But I'll get on that in a second. But specifically, shut up, this dog, bro. Fucking dog, man. If I catch that dog, watch. I'm gonna catch that dog one day. I'm gonna catch your ass without your owner. Watch what's gonna happen to you, bro. Keeping me up too at 2 o'clock in the morning. Watch. Well, here, let me ask you this. You think it's a good idea that Canelo isn't fighting on PBC? I'm asking you from PBC's perspective. I'm not talking about what you think is great for boxing. I'm saying if you was running PBC, do you think, right? You have a scenario where you don't want to pay 35 mil, right? Or whatever to fight Jamal because you think it's going to tank, which it probably would have. Right? But then you try to alter an agreement that you had with somebody. And according from what I'm hearing and from what I'm seeing, the agreement you tried to alter, originally, he didn't even want that shit. He didn't even want that. He was like, nah, I don't want to fight Jamal. Then finally, y'all talked him into fighting him, and he's like, okay, fine. Then at the last moment, you try to go around and say, no, wait a second, no. Bro, that would annoy anybody, bro. That would annoy anybody. Number one. Number two. Did you see the shit where they basically said that David Benavidez wasn't even offered in the original? So let me get this straight. David wasn't even listed as an opponent, right? And then he doesn't want Jamal. You talk him into fighting Jamal. Fast forward, right? It doesn't work out. He fights Jamal, right? Jamal wasn't ready, whatever. They go back, right? They're gonna fulfill their agreement, right? And now you say, no, hold on. It ain't gonna sell. So Munguia or David or whatever. So now you're altering the agreement, right? If you do that, right? I just believe that you're the one at fault, bro. You're the one at fault. I'm not saying that Canelo is innocent of anything and that he's not in a rush to fight David. I said I don't think he's in a rush to fight David, but I think a lot of that has to do with the way that they're carrying themselves. And when I say carrying themselves, I mean putting out things like $55 million and we offered him that and this and that, and then come to find out it's not true. Or you come out and you say that David Benavidez is moving up to 175 to fight this guy, and then when Nestor Gibbs is interviewing you and says, hey, did you know that this guy is under Eddie Reynoso? You actually sit there and go, no, I actually did not know. No, I didn't know. You really did not know he was with Eddie because you told us that you didn't hear nothing from Canelo's camp, right? How's that possible? This guy's under Eddie Reynoso, right? No. I mean, I talked to this guy. I talked to Samson and this, we went to sit down or whatever like that. So I want y'all to think about this. If they're having a sit down, right? If they're having a sit down in regards to a fight or a conference call, who do you think is going to represent that guy? The guy, whoever his fighter is, right? The guy. So what do you mean? Do you see how that looks, bro? Nobody believes you, bro. I don't believe you. So you telling me that fighter spoke for himself? You little things like that. And then I honestly believe in the bottom of my heart, if you really want to fight somebody and you know that the way that you're going about it is pushing the guy further away, why would you continue to do that? Why? Even if you gotta fucking suck in your pride, bro, and be like, you know what, man, I hate it, but you know what? If it gets him in the ring, it gets him in the ring. Why would you continue to do shit that you know every time you do it, you upsetting the man and the man's making it, regardless whether we think it's right or not? I don't. I'm trying to see the fights. You know what I mean? Like I don't care who. Like Whatever you got to do is whatever you got to do. But I don't understand how people just look at it one way. Man, he running scared. He dodged the bullet. Oh, so y'all just ignore the other shit. Y'all just ignore it. Yeah, like that shit ain't happening in front of your face. Like that shit. I don't get that. That I don't get. You do know, right? When something happens, you do know that more than one person could be at fault, right? You do know that, right? If two people fall out, you do know that it could be both their fault, right? It doesn't have to always be one person's fault and that's 100% guilty or whatever. You got to look at the situation, man. You got to look at the situation. And what I'm looking at is I'm looking at a camp that keeps antagonizing somebody, and some might say it's promotion or whatever, this and that. But if you know that what you're doing is pushing the other man away, why would you keep doing it? Why would you lie? Why would you keep doing that? Why would you say that you did not know this guy was Eddie Reynoso's fighter and that you guys haven't heard from Canelo and shit like that? I mean, or his camp. I don't know who to believe anymore, to be honest with you. I don't know. Now you have Eddie Hearn saying, hey, man, listen, David, we could visit that. We could visit that. But I already know what's going to happen. PBC is going to say it's on our platform or nothing. The more that I think about it, man, I mean, I actually do understand why I see some people, like somebody left a comment underneath my live and said, you know, hey, man, PBC going out of business is the best thing right now for boxing. And when I thought about it, I said, damn, I don't see it that way. Like, because I just don't see, I don't like, you know, I'm thinking of like the fighters there and everything like that. But, and I do know that it's going to affect fights because like that shit is like, you don't just leave and go, okay, fuck it, I'm over there in the zone next Tuesday. I don't think it works that fast, bro. I don't think it works that fast. So it's delaying things, you know what I mean? And people are going to be out of the ring longer or whatever, unless, you know, and then not only that, you got to understand, right, that with PBC, especially if it's if they don't want to let certain fighters go, right, then that creates more of a back and forth and a tug of war. And that's what I see what other people are saying, like, bro, look at all this bullshit that's going on, bro. Just let them get the fuck out. Let them get out, and let's keep on moving with boxing forward. Tycho, that's fine. If that's what you think, that's fine. Let me ask you this. Has the Benavidez camp been lying or telling the truth? I just want to answer on that. Everybody, I guess, has been lying then. I agree. He doesn't want to, but not because of being scared. He just doesn't want to give him a payday. I don't want to hear that shit. But I just think that when people turn around and say, oh, he's running. Why? What is fucking there to be scared of, bro? What's there to be scared of? And why? And if you're Benavidez camp, why would you lie? If you're really doing what you're doing, right? Why don't you just keep it a buck and just be like, hey man, look, we're begging this guy to fight. We're doing everything that he's asking us to do. I've never once heard Jose Benavidez Sr. or David Benavidez come on and go, hey, listen, guys, we're ready to talk with Canelo and we're ready to concede to everything that he's asking us, bro. You know, we're ready to just talk like men and we want to sit down and whatever he wants from us, we are willing to do. We are willing to do. I've never once, bro. Never once. It's always he's running like a bitch. We offered him 55 mil. You come to find out that's not true. I don't care who says it is true because you need to prove that first of all. And it just doesn't even sound right. PBC can't even fucking pay Canelo 35 mil. Where the fuck is 55 mil coming from? Something ain't adding up. I'm just looking at both sides, Tycho. I'm tired of the bullshit. You're talking about at that time? Which belt did Canelo have at that time? Because this is before the Caleb Plant, right? Was this after or before Billy Joe? Was Yildirim after or before Billy Joe? Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, okay. So, right, Callum Smith had the WBC, right? Yeah, and David is WBC. That is correct. And then he fought Billy Joe. Hold on, wait a second. Yeah, Billy Joe had the WBO. Caleb Plant had the IBF. And hold on. Callum Smith had the WBC. Billy Joe had the WBO. Caleb Plant had the IBF. Could he have fought him at that time? Yeah, he could have. I'll admit that. I'm telling you, man. I don't think just one person is to blame, is what I'm saying, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and go, oh, this guy doesn't want to do that. Meanwhile, I'm looking at these motherfuckers over here not telling the truth. Like, come on, man. I'm not doing that. Not me. I mean, I understand it. I honestly think deep down inside, call me crazy, I don't think David wants that fight as much as they're portraying to the public, is what I'm saying to you. That's just me. I if I really wanted to fight somebody, bro, I would. And I knew that some of the things that my father and what other people were doing was just making the motherfucker even more upset. I don't understand why I would keep doing that. I would, hey, look, man, we're gonna stop that shit. If that's gonna stop me from getting the fight, bro, hey, I'll tell my pops to fucking chill, bro. What do you want from me? What do you want? Let's sit down. What do you want from me? You want me to take a lower pay and everything else? And what you want to do? I've never once, bro. Never. Like, I mean, come on, bro. Like, you gotta keep it a buck on that. Like, okay, like. And then how? Let me ask you, Tycho. How can you say that you did not know that that's Eddie Reynoso's fighter, but you're telling people that you haven't heard from anyone in Canelo's camp? How is that even possible? How can you fight Eddie Reynoso's fighter without talking to Eddie Reynoso? How's that possible? And you're telling people, we haven't heard anything. You know, they're running scared. Haven't heard anything from them. That's the shit I'm talking about. What's good, D-Style? No, I'm not. No, Tycho. Listen to me. I'm not saying David doesn't want to fight. I'm saying what I am saying to you is I do not believe they want it as the way that they're saying. Let me ask you this, Tycho. Okay, let me ask you a question. What reason would the Benavidez camp have to not be upfront about anything in regards to Canelo? If Canelo's running scared, right? Let me ask. If Canelo's running scared and y'all putting all this pressure on him, right? Or whatever, why would you lie about anything? Why? That doesn't make any sense to me. That really doesn't. Like, I've been thinking the other day, I'm like, why would you fucking even lie then? Like, why? Like, just tell the truth. Like, when you sit there and you say things like, we haven't heard from the camp and everything like that, and then I'm literally seeing with my own eye, that's Eddie Reynoso's fighter. And that's just like, you didn't know that? No, I honestly didn't. Come on, man. And you might say, what does the guy to do with the fight? Well, if they're lying about that, Tycho, then what else are they lying about? If somebody's lying about something, right? You're going to be like, wait a second. That's not your real name. What else this guy lying about? Like, that's what I mean, Tycho. Like, if you're lying, you make me think that you're lying about other things. How do I know everything you're saying is accurate? How do I know? And why would you lie? Or why would you keep things that doesn't need to be hidden? It just doesn't sound right to me. I'm not saying Canelo isn't at fault, bro. I'm saying I'm looking at everything. That's a true statement, but that doesn't make it right too, Tycho. That doesn't make it right though. Like I doubt it. The Benavidez camp was like, well, you know what? Everybody else be lying, so fuck it. Let's just lie anyway. I mean, everybody else is doing it. I mean, yeah, let's just lie. Especially when it comes to Canelo, the one fight that everybody wants to see. Let's not be transparent. Let's not be transparent. If you picked a time to lie, that's the worst one to pick. Like, wow, why out of all the times you want to lie when it's about the fight that everybody wants to see? It's a shady business, man. It's a shady business. It really is, man. It really is. These dudes need a life raft, man. And I don't understand how Floyd can have all these hundreds of millions and he can't come in and do something. Is he going to do something? That is true. Yeah. And look. If you want me to be critical of Canelo as far as like what I'm seeing, I was getting upset because I'm like, bro, I'm tired of this. Let's wait 2 days. I'm going to announcement. You know, like I'm getting tired of that, right? But now when I'm looking back, I'm like, bro, that's why, because these dudes were altering contract. Well, we don't know if it was signed or not. It's still an agreement, bro. It's still an agreement. And you have to think of yourself as a businessman, right? Think of this as a businessman. See, a lot of us, it's easy for us because we're fans. I even admit this. It's easy for us to say things because we're fans, right? But I've never really put myself in the position of when there's a lot of money involved and when we came to some sort of agreement, you know what I mean? And then we're trying to work through this agreement, right? And then the other party is trying to alter things. Like I don't. That's you know, at that point you got to say, hold on a second, wait. I originally didn't even want this shit to begin with. You talked me into it. Now you're trying to change it. Like that would upset anybody, bro. I mean, it would upset me. It would. That doesn't mean he's not at fault. But now look at what's happening now. Now look at what's happening now. All the bad decision after bad decision after bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. And all it did was now, I mean, before at least the David Benavidez fight was within reach. I don't know now, man. I don't know now. And it makes it even worse. Well, not with Canelo, because he still values belts. But it makes it even worse when this generation doesn't even value achievements anymore. They're just, you know what I mean? Some fighters are content with not unifying and content with not trying to get other belts. They're content with that. You know? I got an O. I got an O. I got a little bit of bread. I got a belt. I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to do no extra shit. Yeah, that is true, my guy. And this is what I'm saying. It's bad decision after bad decision. It's fucked up, man. And it pisses me off. It pisses me off. I will say this though, man. I just don't get happy over shit over anybody, bro. I'm not gonna get happy. Like people are literally like, okay, only time will tell. Only time will tell. But you know when a company is crumbling, when the main guy, supposedly the face of boxing, says, hey man, I'm out of here. You want to alter an agreement? I'm out of here. You want to try to fuck me over? I'm out of here. And then the following day, Crawford leaves. I mean, damn, bro. It's been a bad week for PBC. It's been a terrible week. You telling me all y'all got is Tank now? You better make Tank fight 4 or 5 times a year if you want to make some money. Yeah, I just talked about that, Larry. Yeah, I just said that. I just said that yeah, David is fighting the guy that's managed by Eddie Reynoso, and this is what I'm trying to say. I just, I question somebody when they get caught in lies, is what I'm saying. I always do. It doesn't matter if it's boxing or not. I catch you in a lie. The first thing that's going to come to my mind is, why is Larry lying to me? Why is Larry lying to me? Like, why? What is your angle? And then I'm going to start thinking like, well, if he lied about that, then he probably lied about this. And he probably lied. You see what I'm saying? Now you can't trust nobody. And we know we can't trust nobody in boxing anyway. But when I see the other side that is supposedly chasing Canelo, and Canelo is running scared and this and that, and you get caught in little lies, it doesn't matter if it's a big lie, it doesn't matter if it's a little lie, you get caught in lies, like in regards to Canelo's camp, it just, why? And what else are you lying about? And Canelo, has he acted like a diva? Of course he's acted like a diva at times, but I mean, shit. Anybody that's been up in that situation has probably did some diva shit. I mean, let's not act like Floyd took all smoke at all times. Let's not act like Floyd took all smoke at all times at the time when everybody wanted it. First off, we all know that there's no way that you could please the fans, all right? You can't please all the fans. Even if Canelo was to fight David, I already told you there's going to be some people that actually are going to sit there and say that he ducked Crawford. I showed you a couple of videos a couple lives ago where people are openly saying this. And at first I'm thinking he's got to be trolling. They're not trolling. They're dead serious in their mind. That's what they see. Yes, a guy that doesn't even fight, a guy that competes 3 divisions up is literally saying, you know, he's avoiding him. But now we know and understand why we saw the first. Now that first pay-per-view makes a lot of sense to me. It makes a lot of sense to me, bro. It makes a lot, because I was like, why? Why are you having Keith Thurman fight at 1? He's never fought at 154. And why would you put a pay-per-view on where the WBO is like, yo, nah, the belt ain't on the line? Is it the WBO or I think it's the WBO? And then at the first thing I was like, wait a second. First off, why Keith Thurman, right? Why Keith Thurman? Why 154? Why no belt is on the line? And why Tim Tszyu, who's not PBC? All the red flags were there. But listen, I'll admit, I'm stubborn. And I wish for the best. And a lot of y'all kept coming on here telling me, Shadow, I'm telling you, bro, PBC's collapsing. And I'm like, nah, they got to know what they're doing. I mean, how dumb can you be to go to Amazon and make a deal when you don't even have the money to pay your fighters? I mean, who's crazy enough to do that? So I'm thinking logically, like, there's no way Al did that shit. No, there's no way. Come on, man, he's smarter than that. It's Al. Come on, it's Al. It's Big Al over here. And come to find out, yeah, modern boxing is right. They fucked everybody over, bro. And now, all of a sudden, now they're trying to, well, now, you should fight Munguia over at the Zone. No, we're going to have him fight Tim Tszyu. Why? Now it makes a total sense, because you don't got to come up with all the money for them. Their promoters and they're going to take care of that part. It's sad though, bro. At the same time, it's sad, bro. And now we're probably never going to see David versus Canelo. And I know some of y'all are going to say, Shadow, you was never going to see David and Canelo anyway. I don't believe that. I really do believe that in September, that's what Canelo was going to do. And then you look at all the lies on top of that, it just made shit worse. It just made it worse, man. There's a lot of people at blame here, bro. If somebody wants to come on and explain to me, who they think, it doesn't matter who's at blame, but I'm telling you right now, I believe multiple people have to be blamed for this, bro. And no, I am not on the side that I'm celebrating that this is happening. But I do understand why there are some people like, hey, bro, this is the best thing that ever happened to boxing right now. I keep hearing that from people. It's the best thing that ever happened, bro. All they do is fuck people over. All Al was doing was this and these business deals or whatever. Well, only time is going to tell, bro. Only time is going to tell. I'm going to tell you this right now. If David Benavidez is still under PBC or the PBC banner, how in the hell is he going to fight Canelo if Canelo goes with Eddie Hearn and PBC is making it clear that the fight has to be on PBC or nothing? Whose fault is it at that point? So let me ask y'all this. Okay, let me ask you this. So Eddie Hearn is saying this. right? We all know, you probably know by now, right? Eddie Hearn is already, he's over here saying this. Eddie Hearn is saying, hold on. Okay, we all know that Eddie Hearn is over here. He's basically saying, hey, look, we could now, of course, you got to take anything that any promoter, it's just like anybody right now, especially right now, if anything has showed you right now, if we've learned anything, is to take everything with a grain of salt, bro. This is why I said also, and I don't believe in jinxing anything or whatever, or bad luck. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in coincidences either. Actually, no, yes. Is there such thing as a coincidence? Yes, but there's not a such thing as multiple coincidences. All right. If I walk out my house and somebody throws a fucking banana at my face, right? That could be a coincidence. Okay. It could be. He could have just been throwing it when I was coming out. If it happens the next day, bro, it's not a coincidence, bro. Somebody's purposely doing that. Now, I don't believe anybody, but when it comes to this Ryan and Devin thing, I've already said, I'm not going to waste time. I am not going to waste time talking about and breaking that fight down when in the bottom of my heart, I feel like something is going to happen and that fight's not going to happen. And I'm not trying to make anything look, I'm telling you what I feel, bro. I'm telling you what I feel. I feel like something's going to happen. And I hope I'm proven wrong, bro. Believe me, prove me wrong on this. But I really do feel like that as the time gets closer and closer to Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, that something is not gonna fall through, bro. Something. I don't know if it's gonna be Devin. I don't know if it's gonna be Ryan. Somebody's gonna magically get COVID or an injury or whatever. I don't know. I have a feeling, bro. I have a feeling. That's a good fight, by the way. That's a good fight. Oh, and by the way, Tycho, you know, you know how I am when it comes to Edgar Berlanga. Like, I when it comes to Puerto Rican fighters, bro, I put the bar way up here, bro. But I will say, he did have a good night. You're only as good as your competition in my eyes, though. I still don't think he beats Morrell. I still don't think he beats Munguia. I still don't think he beats David Benavidez. I still don't think he beats Charlo. I still don't think, I think a lot of people give Berlanga problems, bro. And I've always been straight up and honest with that, bro. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, because they're my people. Yeah, I'm giving, no, he don't get no pass on me, bro. I still remember the last couple of fights, bro, where you struggling with a guy I never heard of before. And this guy, I'm looking at him. I'm like, bro, there's nothing really that special about the guy. Okay. I'm not going to call him a taxi driver, but he's not the most advanced fighter out there. And I see you struggling. I know, right? Come on, man. Pass me with that shit. And I've already shown. Let me see if I can show it to y'all. Do you know when Berlanga thought his shit didn't stink? Let me show it to you. And I remember when I saw this, I said, oh, no, this is not a good sign, bro. It's not a good sign at all. It's not a good sign. Hold on. Right here is when I knew. I said, oh, he gonna let this go to his head, bro. He gonna let this go to his head. And sure enough, it did. When he visited, when he went down there and chilled with Trinidad, and Trinidad, I guess, gave him that sort of passing of the torch. That's when, bro, everything went downhill, bro. It's like he thought he was the shit, bro. You're gonna find out real quick, bro. Nah, you ain't. You don't get mentioned with Tito, my guy. Fuck that. Nah, I'm sorry. Nah, you're gonna have to show me quadruple of what you're doing now. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. Charlo and Berlanga is a good fight. That's a good fight. I like that fight. Matter of fact, what do you think about Andrade and Berlanga? He might struggle with Andre. He might struggle with Andre, bro. Andre might actually pick Berlanga apart. Yeah, I mean, no, I get it. Yeah, listen, Tito, my favorite fighter of all time. I grew up on Tito. I told you the most emotional fight that ever happened, man. Where he lost to Hopkins, bro. I was so mad. I'm still hurt to this day. That's the only fighter that affects me emotionally. I grew up on Tito, man. Favorite fighter of all time. And he represented my people. That's why I don't. When Tio said the Puerto Rican fighters of today, I agreed with him. I agreed with him. I don't. There's nobody I can even put on Cotto's level, let alone Tito. So I get it. It's gonna go to his head, but damn, bro, you think because you walk out with Fat Joe and you chill with Tito, like, come on, man, you struggling with people I've never heard of before, my guy. I fuck with Tio in no way, no way. I'm sorry, I fuck with Tio, no way, no way. I can see Tio trying to do that half guard, trying to come in with that uppercut or leaping left hook he does and getting count. Tito, no. I'm sorry. I fuck with Tito. No way. No way. And if we're talking Tito Trinidad at 147, no way. No way. No fucking way, bro. I'm sorry, bro. It wouldn't even be a good idea. But hey, I'd watch it. But no. The moment Berlanga would get caught, it'd be a wrap anyway. I mean, it is what it is, man. Berlanga looked good the other night. He looked a lot better than what he's been looking. I will give him that. I will give him this. It looked like Berlanga has been working on some things. But once again, we're talking about you're only as good as your competition. Until you start beating guys that are of people are recognizing as a threat, you're still going to be looked at as a green fighter, especially in the 168 division. My advice, you fight Canelo, you're going to get hurt, but you're going to get a good payday. And if you get knocked out, it's only one loss, you're still young. You could, you know what I mean? You could move on from that. I'm telling you, fight Berlanga fights Morel, it's not gonna end good. Berlanga fights Benavidez, it's not gonna end good. And I mean for Berlanga, if you don't understand what I'm saying. He fights Canelo, it's not gonna look good at all. I think Caleb Plant beats Berlanga. In fact, I think Caleb Plant beats Berlanga kind of easily. As long as he doesn't gas out. As long as he doesn't gas out and get caught. I got Caleb. Y'all got Caleb beating Berlanga? I got Caleb beating Berlanga. I don't know, man. And now, by the way, is any new news on Crawford? Because I saw something. Hold on. I saw something that made me think. Did you guys see and hear that Crawford Eddie Hearn won't do that? Or whoever manages Berlanga is not dumb. I will give him that. They're not dumb. I think the only fight that they will feed to him that they know knowingly deep down inside that he's probably going to lose would be Canelo, and that's because of the payday. No way. No way. Any Morel or any one of these other guys, they're gonna pass on it, as they should. Yeah, he's looking to cash out. He does, OG. Hey, you know what? Hey, I'll fuck with that. I'll take that. If that's what he wants to do, I'll take that, because we know he ain't fighting Boots. We know he's not fighting Boots, bro. You can get that out of your head. I mean, I'm gonna keep calling for it, but not only that, but they showed a clip of Crawford. I was trying to find it and I couldn't find it. But they showed a clip of Crawford and he's training, and he's training at a heavier weight. Clearly. And he took a picture on Twitter, I think it was, and he's standing there with what's that guy's name? What's that fighter that fights at 160? What is his name? Nelson, help me out here. Nelson, the guy Nelson. He's standing there with Nelson and these other fighters and stuff. And you could tell that Bud is bigger. He's whatever he's training for, it's not 147. It's not 147. No, you're right. No, you're right. But you know what, Tycho, when you have that's the thing, when you have a star, though, I don't think he's a star. But what I mean is when you have a country or you have people that will come out and see you, you can get away with that. I don't want to see it, but you can get away with that. You can. Look, nobody really knew who Duarte was, right? And I don't think not a lot of people went to that fight. So that's probably a bad example. But Ryan, for instance, Ryan can get away with fighting somebody that we know he's going to win and still, I mean, for today, put up okay numbers because he's got that fan base. He's got little kids at home that, Daddy, paid for the pay-per-view. Steven Nelson. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, he's got a picture. He's next to Steven Nelson, and he doesn't look like he's at 147. So I don't know. But hey, you know who's funny to me, bro? You know who's funny to me? Leonard Ellerby cracks me up, bro. Leonard Ellerby cracks me up. This is the only man. Well, no, there's a few. Bill Haney's another one. This man will sit there and tell you the most ridiculous thing. And you know, and I know, and everyone knows that it's a bunch of damn lies. And this man looks at you straight in your face. Like, yeah, that's for real. That's for real. He sits there now he's supposed to do this, y'all. He's supposed to do this, but nobody believes you when you sit there and go, after Tank comes Rolly at 135. Nobody. No. It goes Tank, then Rolly. Come on, Ellerby. You know we don't believe that. Some of us don't even believe that with Tank. I think Tank is the goods. I want to see him fight somebody. But I'm saying some people don't even believe that with Tank. You think we believe you when you say after Tank comes Rolly? Rolly's number 2 at 135. Okay. And he says it with such a straight face, bro. He looks at you with conviction. Like what? You don't know? You don't know Rolly's that guy? Rolly's that guy. I think Rolly's good for boxing too, by the way. Frank, I'm just hard on him because I've already stated I'm hard. Pause. I'm hard on him for a different reason, though. I'm hard on him because I'm hard on any Puerto Rican fighter that fights currently. Because I noticed something. I noticed something, and I know you guys notice it too. You either have two types of people, right? When it comes to like a fighter that they like, or like if it's like, I don't know, if it's a Mexican fighter and you're Mexican, right? You notice there's two sides. There's always, you got the one person that wants them to fight and wants to see them fight everybody, right? And then you got the other type of person that just protects them. Like Berlanga's the shit. Like, you know, like I'm not the second one. I'm the first one. I'm the guy that's like, hey, nah. Okay. I need to see you fight these guys, and you got to show me something, bro. Because for me, I grew up on Tito. Bar is high. It's a fuck kind of, to be fair to Berlanga. It's a bar. He's not. It's not fair to him to begin with. So I will say that. I will say that the bar that I have is not fair for him to begin with. But you got to aim for greatness, bro. You got to aim for greatness. You can't be called a Puerto Rican great if you don't, by the way. If you want to later on in your career be considered as one of the greats from Puerto Rico, bro, you got to take chances, bro. You can't keep doing, I agree with Tycho right here. You can't keep doing, well, not bum. I ain't going to say bums. But I will say you can't keep doing these main events that you're doing and think 5-10 years from now, we're going to say, yeah, it's man, shit. When it comes to Puerto Rico, Benitez, Trinidad, Cotto, and Berlanga. Yep. No, that's not gonna happen. There's no way that's gonna happen, bro. That's why I'm hard on Berlanga. It's not that I hate him. Listen, boxing with Frank Bay. If he was to turn around and knock out David Morrell or start wiping everybody out, bro, I would be, bro, no, much love over here, bro. Much love over here. I'm just telling you that I'm not going to make excuses for anybody that I think can. First of all, you can always get a lot better. That's number one. You can always be better than what you are. However, if I feel like you're overrated, I'm going to say it, bro. I don't care where you're from or whatever. And Berlanga, and Berlanga is an example. I grew up on Tito, bro. Berlanga's overrated. You think because you walk in with Fat Joe, you got like, you a great, nah, bro. You need to work on something, bro. Because I saw you the last couple of fights, and I don't know a lot of these guys, and these guys are making you were struggling, bro. You were struggling with somebody that was just throwing their jab consistently. Like you couldn't take the jab away, and it's like, bro, I'm telling you, when you start getting up to the top 5, a lot of these guys got some pretty good jabs, and like if you can't take that away, like, you know what I mean? So like that's why I'm like that with him. But if he was to start doing something, bro, no problem. I want the best for him, actually, to be honest with you. But I'm gonna stay being brutally honest with my opinion, of course, because my opinion is biased. At the end of the day, I admit my opinion is biased. My opinion is not a fact. My opinion on any fighter is not a fact. That is just how I feel about that fighter. A fact is if a fighter won a belt or not, that's a fact. We know what facts are. People think that their opinions are facts, and they're not. They're not. Is it a fact that Canelo ran from David? Well, before all this shit was coming out, I guess somebody could have made it seem like that. It could have made it seem like that. But what I've been seeing unfolding, and I'm seeing people lying, and then I start asking myself, well, if you're lying about that, then what else are you lying about? Now I'm questioning a lot of things. Now I'm questioning. I tell you right there, if you're my friend and you lie to me, bro, if I catch you in a lie, the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to literally think you've been lying to me the whole time. I'm telling you right now. If I catch you in an open hand, and especially if you're lying about some shit that is petty, if you lying about something that like there's no reason to lie, now you got me thinking, bro, like, why would you even lie to me about, like, why? Now you're making me question everything about you, bro. There's no reason to lie. Don't start that shit over here, OG. Don't start that, bro. Look. Actually, though, I like, man, I want nothing but the best for Berlanga, but I'm always gonna be brutally honest, okay? I'm always gonna be brutally honest with him. we know boxing magic fucks with Canelo, bro. I look. Could Canelo have fought him already? Yeah, he could have did that. He could have did that. There's a lot of people that fought for what's going on right now. How about this? If David really is openly saying that he wants to fight Canelo, right? Don't you think it's a good idea for him to go to Al right now and say, hey, Al, if Eddie comes to me and says that he'll try to make that fight happen, but it's got to be on his own, Al, please. Al, please. In regards to Canelo or Berlanga? Oh, gee, I know you be trolling me, bro. I know you don't like Berlanga. Stop it, bro. I know you don't like Berlanga. I don't hate Berlanga. I just don't think that one performance makes up for the overratedness that I see. And that's my opinion, by the way. I've actually talked to some people that really have told me, like, hey, Shadow, bro, I think people are really hating on Berlanga, and I think he's really, I think he's a lot better than what people think he is. And I said, okay. And I looked at him and said, I don't believe that, but okay. Matias still got to show me something too, but I'll tell you right now, the difference is, OG, bro, Matias, bro, people don't even want to come out the corner after fighting him, bro. That's the difference, though. You got people, 5 straight fighters that are in the corner like, nah, I ain't going back out there. Like, no, that's impressive, bro. That's impressive. You know what I mean? I mean, we ain't talking 1 or 2. We talking 5 straight. It's bad when a fighter got, fighters got a lot of pride. Fighters got a lot of pride, right? But when a fighter's going to quit or doesn't want to be in there. When you see a fighter that is getting his ass whooped, oh, Frank the Tank's up in there. Give me 1 second, brother. Let me make sure it's you. It's you. I know it's you. Hold on 1 second. When a fighter is quitting, because you'll see things like, all right, he's not really he's getting his ass whooped, right? He's getting his ass whooped. He's not letting his hands go. Then all of a sudden, the ref stops the fight, right? You ever see this? The ref stops the fight, and then he just starts, why are you stopping it? Why? Oh, but you know why I'm stopping it. You know why I'm stopping it. Don't act like you're going to do something now. Don't act like you're going to do something now. I've seen that so many times, bro. I'll be laughing, bro. I'd be like, oh, what? You upset? Why are you upset? You ain't throwing no punches, bro. It's funny to me sometimes, man. What's going on, brother?
Yo, no, I just hopped in, man. Jumped on to clear up the Berlanga, what I was saying.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Trust me, I'm not here saying that he's the chosen one. Isn't that his catchphrase? He's the one, the chosen one. Isn't Berlanga the chosen one?
Is that his catchphrase?
I thought you should know,
bro.
You're his biggest fan.
Yeah, nah.
I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding. No, but because here's the thing, man. Like, I may talk shit about Shakir Twitterson, but you can't deny his talent, right? Like, he's obviously a good boxer. He's super talented. But, we just don't support him because he fights like a bitch. But I'm just saying I'd rather see Berlanga. That's how I look at boxing. Like, now, as fans, when we understand the business, all the politics, it's like, man, let's just make good fights. Like, let's just,
Listen, Frank, he comes to fight. I'm not saying, I'm saying that I remember, like, before he had those bad fights, right? And I remember specifically, bro, people were talking like, this is the next coming Puerto Rican fighter. This is going to be the guy. And I was saying back then, I said, bro, We can't say that. He's never made it out the first round and against guys that I don't even know really. So it's like, I need to see more of him. Just because I see him beat up on somebody that is not really, doesn't have really a lot of credentials, has more losses than wins, right? Just because I see him beat the crap out of him for 45 straight seconds doesn't mean that you're the next coming great Puerto Rican fighter. And then I think his best fight was the fight that he got criticized the most on, which was the Demond Nicholson fight, because he made it out the first round. He went all 12, but he knocked him down 5 times. I think that was Berlanga's best performance.
I'm just pointing out the fickleness of things. Like you probably remember a guy named Juanma.
You're breaking up, buddy. You're low.
Oh, you remember a guy, Juanma? I think maybe, boxing fans, if you're really a hardcore and you watch these fights, then you don't get high on prospects because you see him get smashed. There was a guy, Juanma Perez. I think he was Puerto Rican. He was supposed to be the second coming, and he got smashed by, I think it was Orlando Salido. It might have been who knocked him off his perch first. But
Salido, wasn't Salido the one that beat Loma and he was hitting him with them low blows? Was that him?
he was a journeyman Mexican with like 10 losses, but his first notable win, I want to say, was against Juanma Lopez, who was like the second coming. He was supposed to be that dude for Puerto Rico. So I mean, you're like right now, they're pumping up these Shushu Carringtons, these Abba Zappa Masons. I'm not high on them just because, it's like what you're saying. You watch enough boxing, you can't get too high on anybody. What I'm saying is Berlanga, like everybody is super high on Shakir, and then they see him. Was he exposed? I think he was exposed to a point. It's just what I've seen.
I think it's a different story with Shakur personally. I think Shakur has already. He's I think he's a 3 division and unified in 1, and he actually beat champions, and he beat them decisively. You know what I mean? Like he beat it now. He beat Oscar Valdez decisively. He beat the hell out of what's his name? The dude with the is he still fighting, by the way? Herring?
Oh, Herring, no, he retired.
Yeah. He did. He did retire.
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about the skills as far as his boxing acumen or what they say ring IQ. All these fancy, smashy terms. I'm talking about like what I see was that there was gonna be a point that he doesn't want to engage. That he's so defensive minded. Like I seen that in probably his first 8 fights, because Top Rank was heavily promoting this kid. And I watched I watched Earl Spence coming up. I watched Shakira Stevenson coming up, and I could just see that the like when I remember Earl Spence, I could see that he would get in there and nug. Like he wasn't, he was actually a come forward fighter. When I watched Shakira, I could see that there was something missing, that this lack of engagement that was going to get found out later on, and it did. So, like with Berlanga, I just think, look, he's not great. He is what he is. He's a slugger. He's coming to fight.
Yeah, listen. Berlanga comes to fight. I'm just making it. I've never said he runs or anything. I'm just making it clear that I will say it's unfair. It is unfair what I do to him, but it's because the bar that I have is Tito. So be that which it may.
That's why I said not everybody's going to Blanco. We love Navarrete.
You're going out again.
Oh, sorry, man. I might have to switch. Okay. I'm saying we love Navarrete. We're never going to confuse Navarrete with Julio Cesar Chavez. Like, the same truth.
No, of course not. But you don't think that Julio Cesar Chavez can be a bar though? Like, yo, you want to see your people aim for something like that. You want to see them aim for greatness, right? I mean, I don't listen. I'll tell you like this. I don't like it if I see a Puerto Rican fighter that I feel like is overrated, walking out with Fat Joe, chilling with Tito like he's the next best shit, when I know that I see clear flaws in him, and he struggled against people that was just throwing a jab regularly. Like, bro, I'm not gonna front, bro. I'm gonna say, bro, nah, he ain't the one. He ain't the one. Because if I how would it look? Let me ask you, how would it look if I got on here and in my lives I was like, yo, Berlanga's that guy. Morrell don't want to fight him. Benavidez don't want to fight him. Canelo don't want to fight him. Like, how would I look? I would look stupid, bro. I would look stupid. No, nobody would believe that.
Yeah, that'd be ridiculous. But
right.
It's one thing to do that than to say, like what your chat says, he's a bum, he's this and that. I'm saying, all I'm saying is
a lot of people in my chat are trolls.
All I'm saying is he's entertainment. He's an entertaining fighter. That's basically just how I look at boxing now. I'm not trying to dissect the sweet science. I just want to see good fights, entertaining fights, and I think he provides that. Because I heard you when I first hopped on, they were saying, why is he a main eventer? And that's exactly why. You want to put on main events that are entertaining.
Did they say him? No, because I meant the guy. No. He is the main eventer as far as because he's got people that'll follow him. I mean, your dance partner.
When I seen somebody you were talking.
Oh, I know. That's what I mean.
Why is Berlanga main eventer?
What I mean is this. What I mean is this. Like a Jason Quigley was the main event, I believe. Right? I'm sorry.
Berlanga versus Quigley. Yeah,
I don't think that's a main, bro. Just because you have a name and you walk out with Fat Joe and people are going to pay for your tickets, I do not believe that your dance partner, Jason Quigley, should be the main event. That's what I mean.
Okay. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, yes, as boxing fans, but not every fight, they got to build the guy. So how are they supposed to build it?
I agree. Hey, listen, Frank, I agree. I'm telling you up front, I think I'm overly too hard on Berlanga. But that's because I have a bar. I have a bar that's proud. You know what? Even if I lowered the bar,
I was just addressing the chat because I see people in the chat. Okay. I wasn't really even addressing it to you. I was just addressing.
But I will say this. Even if I lowered the bar, because I don't think Cotto is as good as Trinidad. I don't. That's just me. That's my personal. I do not think Cotto was a great fighter, but I do not think that he was on. I think if he would have fought Trinidad, if they were both in their prime, I think Trinidad would knock him out. And even if I lowered the bar and put him at Cotto, I still think that's a bad bar for Berlanga.
Let me give you something to think about because it's possible. We know boxing. We know how it works, right? So everybody goes on this Berlanga bash, and we almost seen the worst thing of worst things, right? And I'll get at. But look, in the 4-belt era, Rolly Romero is a champion, right? There could be a scenario. The Canelo decides something. He gives us all the biggest curveball in boxing, and all these belts become vacant. Berlanga could become a champion. Like, this is the world we live in. And then he will legitimately be a champion. He earned the right. He got the ranking. And he's a champion. He's not a bum. He's a champion.
Yeah,
and then people beat him.
If he earned it like that, I would give it to him, and then he would be a champion until he fought someone like Morrell, and then the next day I'd be on here like it was a bad night for Berlanga.
But I'm just giving you a scenario that a lot of people bash these guys.
I see what you're saying, and you know what? This is what I've been trying to do with Devin Haney. I've been very hard on Devin Haney, and I've really been trying to be open-minded because the kid has achieved things, regardless whether I may not like the way that they move around sometimes. He has, and I got to give him his respect for that. And I do feel like a lot of the criticism I was giving him at sometimes was a little bit too much, but also I will admit that a lot of it had to do with Bill and just flat out. And believe me, Tio Senior has said some off the wall stuff too, but he's at least the last couple of fights he's been keeping him out of it. But that's Bill's role. Bill's role is to do what he's doing, and he does it very well. Right. You know what I mean? But yes, I agree with you. If Berlanga was to get a belt like that and earn it, yes, I would say, he's a legit champion. He's legit because he earned it. Those
belts are probably going to go vacant sometime. Right? Canelo holds them all. He drops them, and it's going to be a man's scramble.
You went out again.
Sorry, man. I'm on a earpiece, a Bluetooth. Oh. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. But every time it's funny. Every time I say I don't hear you, you come right back on and you're clear.
My bad.
No, you good. You good. So let me ask you, since I have you on, and thanks for being on as always, man. What do you think is going on with this whole? So I don't know how long you've been here, right? But I broke down the whole Canelo with the contract and PBC, and I'm like, bro, it's kind of crazy how everyone is getting the same information, but yet you still got one side saying he's running, and the other side is like, no, it's understandable. Like, to me, I'm on the side where it's understandable. I still think he should have fought him already, but I've already broke down a million times why I don't think he's fighting him. And I've also seen David Benavidez' camp not be 100% truthful, which makes me question what else are they lying about. And then also when you see that Al Heyman had an agreement, when you have an agreement with somebody and he's thinking he's going to fight this man, and then at the last moment you say no, right? It's going to be Munguia or this guy. Like, I don't blame someone for like saying, wait a second, bro. We had an agreement. You need to honor that agreement. So that's what I'm saying. Like, but then, you know, people think he's doing that because he doesn't want to face David. What do you think? Look, you think Eddie Hearn would really? I think he would. When Eddie Hearn says, hey, look, I'm willing to make the fight with David, but PBC is not going to let him fight over here.
Exactly. But I mean, the first business you have to get through is it a duck? And to be honest, I can see how people would think that he's a duck, right? Like it's clear. Like you can't call someone stupid or ignorant for thinking that, because they're reading the reports, they're seeing these things. The PBC's putting out smear campaigns saying that they were trying to offer Jamel as long as he promised to fight David, blah blah blah, right? But the other part of the thing is, which side are you on? Are you on the side of fighter empowerment, right? Don't we talk about like fighters being their own boss?
Right.
Wasn't that what Bud Crawford was saying?
Right.
Fighters need to take control of their careers. Promoters and managers are always screwing these guys. So here we have a man who's achieved this, and all he gets is hate.
Canelo is, I've always said Canelo, it doesn't matter what position Canelo is in. He's always in a do or damn situation. He damned if he do, damned if he don't situation. And you know what's crazy? Every time I say that, somebody comments at the end of the video, like, you're a Canelo dick rider. And it's like, bro, you know damn well, and I know that no matter what decision this guy makes, he's going to get criticized, bro. And he's not going to get criticized a little bit. He's going to get criticized a hell of a lot. But it's like, look, man, I've always thought, and this is why I really do want to see that fight. This is why I really do want to see it. I do not think the David Benavidez fight is going to go the way people think it's going to go. A lot of people really look at David, right? And they look at him and they look at him as this monster. So a lot of the credit is due to him. He is relentless. He is have good pressure, bro. He's got, you know, he's young. He's got reach. He's got stamina for days, right? Goes upstairs and downstairs constantly, right?
Mm-hmm.
He is in a way a monster, Frank. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I see those openings, bro. I see that the more he throws, he's leaving himself open. And I'm just thinking of somebody like Canelo, who's got experience over a very, very good defense, the best shit in the game. And I don't care if you think he's declining or not, he still has power. And I'm watching this and I'm like, bro, I don't think this is going to unfold the way people think it's going to unfold. Like, what do you think? The bell's going to ring and David's just going to fucking walk Canelo down like he did Boo Boo? Is that what y'all think? Okay.
So, you know, based on what you're saying, let me ask you two questions. I mean, I have my own thoughts, but how did you feel when Bud Crawford, do you remember the whole, it took like a year and a half negotiations, Crawford and Spence. Remember that? The whole saga, people were doing like 4-hour lies, arguing about who was ducking.
Right.
And they were going to fight. And then what did Bud Crawford do in the middle of that? He was like actually in negotiations with.
He fought Avenesian.
Well, no, remember what he did? He left. And they said the fight's dead. He went to a whole nother platform. That's what he did. Right. And then they said,
wait. I'm sorry. They have negotiated so many times. I have to ask you, which one are we talking about?
Exactly. That's the point, is that people miss the point that Bud just did what Canelo did. He left, went to a whole nother platform, got a bag, and then he came back. But like, are we missing the part that he did what they said Canelo's doing?
And I think you was on the panel. I think you was in the panel. The live where I had Tim Bradley, I took the interview from YM Sports and I think it was Fight Hype. And I showed what Tim Bradley said. And Tim Bradley was on there saying, hey, look, man, Boots Boots is basically, in so many words, Boots is a nobody in so many words, and that Crawford needs to maximize his money, right? In the same sentence, he's saying things like, I don't care if he fights a YouTuber. He has earned the right to where he's at right now, right? And he says all this stuff. And then in the very same, the very same sentence, he's like, and I, and I do understand, Canelo not wanting to fight, but like, he's like, but I do understand Bud wanting to fight Canelo, because he's earned it. He needs to maximize his money, right? But I do understand Canelo, not wanting to fight Bud because of what happened with Jamel and everything. I just hope Canelo steps up, in so many words, grabs his balls and fights David. And I'm looking at him like, wait a second. You just said this man does earned everything and maximize, which is true. Well, what the fuck? Canelo has it, bro. Like, I thought it was the guy that's been doing it longer and the guy that's accomplished the most, or the guy that's been accomplishing shit for a very, very long time. And you could say that for both of them. So if you could say that for both of them, how can you say it for one and not the other? You know what I mean? And it's like, if you're saying Bud doesn't have to fight Boots because he thinks that Boots isn't a reputable fight as far as return on investment, the return on your investment into the fight. If you think that is true with Bud and that he has the right to just refuse it, which he does, and that he has the right to go want to move up 21 pounds and fight Canelo, and that, mind you, that is before rehydration, right? And if you're going to sit there and say, yeah, look, I mean, he's the undisputed at 147, undisputed at 140, right? Then how can you say in the very same sentence, say that, and then turn around and say, well, I hope he grabs his nuts and fights David, right? But what people will say to you is that, well, look, David's is mandatory, right? Well, first off, yes, you're right. But David has not been as mandatory as long as what people has been thinking. People keep forgetting. They keep forgetting that David lost that belt twice. Once for cocaine, once for being overweight. And if he wouldn't, I'm not a person that's gonna harp on what somebody did in the past. But the truth of the matter is that if those two things would have never happened, Canelo would have had to been one of those champions that Canelo would have had to go through. And people keep forgetting that. It's like they magically forget that, right? So you pay for your faults that you've done in your past, right? Now he can't do anything about it. He's got to move past it, right? The one thing I give David Benavidez a lot of credit for, but the one thing I will, is that I remember at one point Canelo saying, these guys got to start fighting each other. They all can't just be lining up waiting for the payday. I know that, right? And David, he heard that and he went straight for Caleb, right? Then he did the boo-boo, right? So he gets credit for that and everything like that, right? Now you can't really compare that with Boots because people look at Boots and they go, oh, well, Boots got 30-something fights and he hasn't really fought anybody. And when he fought Karen, he couldn't really cut off the ring and all that, right? And this is an email belt, right? Okay, and then I'm like, okay, well, it's still David's numbers are trash too. Like, okay, look, Boots doesn't even fight on pay-per-view, but David's numbers are trash. Let's not make it seem like he's. I mean, the plant and the boo-boo fight were duds. Right? So if we're talking about numbers or anything like that, there's really no incentive when it comes to David Benavidez. If we talk about earning, yes, I believe at this point David has earned it. But also, if you're going to say that Bud has earned the right to turn down any fight he wants and to maximize his money, then Canelo can do the same. And why would Canelo look at a high-risk David Benavidez fight, high risk and low numbers? So you can't, if you're going to say that with Bud, you should say that with Canelo. That was my whole point. And by the way, I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm going to let you go in a second. I got to say this. Every time I bring up Bud Crawford, bro, every time people get hella mad at me. They get so mad at me, and it's like, bro, I'm only asking for the guy to fight, bro. And this is what I went back to, that we are in a different generation. We are in a generation where a lot of fans, well, I guess in their mind, when they make excuses like he doesn't have to fight him and he doesn't have to fight him and, and basically advocating for fights not to happen. I think that doesn't look right. I don't think it looks right for the fighter. I don't, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you like somebody and you support somebody, you should be asking them to fight. You know what I mean? You should want to see them fight everybody. And now I do understand, and I'm gonna let you go right now. I do understand the Boots situation more now. That Boots isn't even never even fought on pay-per-view. So you know the numbers aren't gonna be good. But let's not pretend that David's numbers are astronomically out of this world either.
Facts. I mean, see, here's the thing. Okay, you could put on your fighter cap and dissect the fight, but then you got to put on, because you're doing content, right? So, I'm assuming you have integrity. I'm assuming that whatever you put out, you can vouch for and attest to, like in a week or two, right? So if you call Canelo a duck and then it comes out that he's actually going to fight David, you look like a fool, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's put our thinking cap on. Let's put our businessman cap on, right? Just for the sake of argument, because you're doing content, right? You want to put out legit shit. Right. So if Tim Bradley's this boxing expert, he knows everything. Let me ask you this: how much do you think that this Canelo David Benavidez fight is worth?
When you say worth, you mean how much you think it's going to make, or worth like to the fans and to
let me give you something to think about. Ryan Garcia made $30 million for Tank Davis, the Tank Davis fight. Now I thought maybe he was making 10 or 15. He made 30 million. Who knows what Tank Davis made, right? Mm-hmm. And that they said the fight in total generated $150 million.
Both those fighters, Frank, have fan bases too, and now us hardcores are gonna say, Frank, Tank hasn't, Tank has always had those baby WBA belts. He's never really had a major title or even unified or even went for undisputed. And a lot of people see his skills and know that he can. But even without that, he has a base, a fan base around him, bro, that's always going to show up. And even though the numbers to me wasn't really all that, like with the Hector Garcia or even a Rolly, right? They still did okay for standard numbers for today, in a world that we have where people are pirating 90% of the fights or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? And so you have that for Tank going. You have Ryan with the whole Instagram and all the young girls liking him, and you got all these other figures, and he's got people outside of boxing that only really watch boxing sometimes because of him. So you have two of these guys with now Canelo's an international superstar. Now David, the question becomes, does David have a loyal, valid, or big fan base? And the answer to that is no. Why do we know this? Well, because when he fought Caleb Plant, I thought that fight did well. It didn't do as well as what I thought it would be. It did do a lot better than the Boo Boo fight. And that goes to show you when it came to Boo Boo too, as well. Your dance partner helps you out a lot, right? Unless you're somebody like a Canelo or a Tank or even a Ryan. I mean, look, right. Devin Haney, undisputed champion at 135. Now you could debate how is his road to undisputed. You could debate that all day, but the fact of the matter is Devin Haney is undisputed at 135. Moves up to 142, fight another champion. And does what? How many? It was horrible. The numbers were horrible. And that's against a fighter that is a champion that we know who Prograis is. Not a lot of people know who Prograis is. So when you say how much is the fight worth it?
How much is the fight? Like, if we're just speculating that Ryan got 30 M's, let's say Tank got 30 M's, the fight generated $150 million based on projections, based on what they're looking at. I mean, Canelo got 35 for Charlo, right? Mm-hmm. So how much is a David fight worth right now? I mean, they're trying to smear him with 55 M's. I mean, they have to be telling him it's double that. I mean, let's think about it, right? Eddie Hearn, Saudi Arabia, Canelo Alvarez, mm-hmm. David Benavidez. He's going to get a lot of money for that fight. It's worth a hell of a lot more than 55 million. It's going to generate probably double of what Tank and Ryan did. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah. People are trying to use these numbers to smear him, but putting on your manager cap, putting on just your thinking cap and as a business person, right? If we're trying to break down these fighters, we'd have to say this fight is massive now.
And that's another thing. That's another thing, Frank. And I was talking about this earlier. It's another thing I don't understand. Nothing I don't understand. Okay. So you're doing this whole smear campaign on Canelo's name. Okay. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. But two things. If number one, you can openly see that the more you do this shit and the more you carry on business like that, that's a business that Canelo doesn't like, and that's a business that Canelo is not going to accept, right? Why would you continue to keep doing something that's pushing him further away and lowering your chances? That's number one. And number two, if you're portraying this to the public the way that you're portraying it, there should be no lying. It should be transparency. Now, is there lying in boxing? Yes, but not in regards to this fight. If you're saying that Canelo Alvarez is running from you and that's all he's doing is running and he's running scared, then anything coming and anything about that fight between y'all should be transparent. Hey, I ain't gonna hide. Look, this dude running, right? And when you're over here and you start doing these you're getting caught in these little lies and you getting caught in things, it makes people like me question, well, what else are you lying about, bro? So I don't, why would you do any of those two things? You know, and so I do think that some of the fault is on David's team, maybe not a lot, because at the end of the day, it comes down to Canelo if he wants to fight him or not. But when you do things like, I'm going to move up to 175 to fight this guy, and we find out that that's an Eddie Reynoso fighter, and then you done told all of us that we weren't hearing, y'all didn't hear anything from Eddie Reynoso or Canelo's camp, and then when somebody says, well, you know that's Eddie Reynoso's fighter, right? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Well, who did you sit down with? I sat down with this guy. Okay, so you're telling me that you're fighting Eddie Reynoso's fighter and Eddie Reynoso did not sit down with you? Like, when you start saying things like that, bro, it makes me look at it like, what are y'all doing? Like, you know, so I question sometimes, like, do they really want to fight Canelo the way that they're making it? I think they do want to fight Canelo. But I think that there's a way that I also think that, like, if you wanted to fight Canelo and you know that there was a better, I guess the question is this. If you really want to fight Canelo and you know the way that you're going about it is wrong and that there is another way that you can go about it, why don't you do that? Why don't you go, hey, listen, let's have a sit down and I will concede to everything that you want me to do, whatever I got to do to make this fight. If you know that smearing his name and doing all this other shit and lying about 55 mil when PBC can't even pay Canelo 35 mil, and then you're trying to tell people Samson Lukowicz is going to pay the 55 mil, like shit that doesn't really add up to begin with, nor can be proven, right? And then you're doing, why don't you do this stuff? It makes me question the validity of some of the things that I'm seeing, and it also makes me question everything in regards to you wanting to fight Canelo. And that's just me.
I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. I mean, you can see what the Benavidez is doing. I guess they put a promo, the Mexican Monster, he's going to announce a fight soon. Well, David's relevant as long as he's attached to Canelo's name, right? The day he loses to Canelo, it's over. It's a wrap. His career's done. I mean, I'm not going to say his career's done, but the amount of money and then drawing power he can create is limited. You know what I mean? But right now,
look at it like this. If he moved up to 175 and lost to this guy, that's not going to look well.
Well, it's over. I mean, as far as you're maximizing your potential. So as long as he has Canelo circulating, orbiting, right? Canelo's the sun and everybody else is the planet. And I'm not trying to say he's king or he's the great. I'm saying that the money that these guys can generate, as long as they can always be attached to Canelo, Berlanga, Munguia, David, like their earning potential is more. And I'll give you a case in point. Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez. I kind of think they're in cahoots together. I think they use each other to pump each other's fights. Like they know not to fight yet because they can keep making more money with those names attached as a potential super fight down the line, right? It's like, why do it now?
How do we know Ryan's not doing that with Devin?
Well, Ryan's gonna fight Devin. Is that what you mean?
Well, I've already. I'm not. I mean, listen. When fight week comes, if I see everything is working out and they've weighed in, I'll be excited then. I honestly believe something's gonna happen prior to that fight. I hope I'm wrong.
You think it's gonna pull out?
Yeah. Somebody's gonna pull out.
But I mean, that's just boxing, right? Like Tank Tank's name is attached to Haney. I mean, you know it, and they just keep building these fights. I mean, look, you can look all around boxing. Boots is going to be able to, you know, keep his money going, because look, the fact of boxing is when these guys take losses. So like the prospects, right? You get dropped from your contract. When the guy takes a loss, it's like it's back to square one. You know, like take a guy like Regis Prograis. He took a loss to Josh Taylor. How long did it take him to get back to relevancy? It took him like 3 or 4 years. He different promoters, and then he said he made a good amount of money against Haney, cash it out, give up his belt, and then it's back to, you know, lesser pay grades. So, I mean, this is the sport, man. So Haney and Teofimo are very smart in not fighting yet. Now, us as fans, we're gonna bitch and moan and cry, and we're gonna point the finger at who's ducking who, yada yada yada. You see what I'm saying? And now look what Subrio's doing. Subrio's doing the same thing. He's like, oh, okay, now I can make. Now look, Matchroom, they didn't get him and they're not gonna throw him right to Haney or Tio. They're like, okay, we can make some money off this guy. We're gonna give him, you know, some good money, and he's gonna fight some of the. It looks like Elvis Rodriguez is the name, or Liam Paro. So they're not throwing him right away. It's like they're gonna build him, and then they're gonna make a crossover fight. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
So that's what David's doing. He's like, okay, look, if we're not going to fight, I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to stay in my lane, and I'm going to make as much money as I can until they offer us $30 million with the zone.
He should have been doing that, though. I mean, because if you really thought, I mean, and that's another thing. If you really think in your mind that Canelo is scared of you and doesn't want to fight you, you should have just been like, you know what? I'm going to keep doing my thing until it's inevitable. He can't go nowhere. Or if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I need to worry about my career and doing what I'm doing instead of you know, chasing this man. That's another thing too. It's like I don't know, man. I think everybody is not truthful, is what I think. And the only thing I could do is I can only go by what people are saying and the things that I'm seeing around me at the time. You know what I mean? And all I know is when I see David say he's moving up to 175 to fight this guy, but they didn't know that was Eddie Reynoso's fighter. That just has my mind boggled.
No doubt. They're just trying to smear and make Canelo Alvarez look bad. But like I said, look, man, this fight, and I'm just going to throw numbers out. And I mean, I could be absolutely wrong, right? I could be completely wrong on this.
Which fight are we talking about?
I'm talking about David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez.
Okay.
The Saudi Arabia is going to throw maybe 150 bands at Canelo to go do it. They want Canelo Alvarez. They want Inouye. You know, they're putting up a big ass bag for Better Biev and B-Ball. We would have never got that fight. These are the fights they want. And that makes ultimate sense. That's what's going to happen. I mean, what I'm saying is the fight is worked. I mean, if Ryan and Tank made 150 million, this fight's looking at least 350 million. This is what it generates. That's what I'm saying to the fans, to the chat, to you. It's like, we don't know how much these fights generate. Like, we really don't. And I'll give you a case in point. Ryan, I guess, Oscar was trying to talk to Teofimo, and they offered, you know what they offered Teofimo for a Ryan fight? Do you remember that?
No.
He 1.5 million.
That's kind of funny because Teo always gets offers like that, and I don't understand.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the game, man. It's like because if you're Teo, you got to be like, there's no way that fight, like, how much is the fight worth? That's the thing. Like, nobody knows. So when you call guys or ducks or what's really going on, fighters probably don't know what fights are worth.
Well,
right?
I mean, look, case in point, I watched the video the other day about years ago when they were talking about Mayweather and Pacquiao. And at this point, the fight didn't happen. Right. And there's an old interview that you could catch with Floyd, and he's sitting down.
He wanted to give him 40 flat. Right.
Right.
Is that what you're gonna say?
And the guy said something. The guy said something he alludes to the point of something. He's like, hey, listen, you know, Manny Pacquiao says you offered him like $30 or $40 million, but take it or leave it, but that he gets none of the pay-per-views, and you said no. And is that true? And Floyd goes, listen, I'm not the cash cow I'm a cash cow for a reason. I don't give anybody percentages off the pay-per-view numbers. So then the guy goes, okay, well, then if you knew that Manny Pacquiao is going to refuse your offer, then why aren't you negotiating to try to make the fight? That makes people think that you don't want the fight to happen then, you know? And even back then, stuff like that was getting in the way of fights getting made. And people might look at that and go, well, you know, Manny Pacquiao ducked because he's 40 million flat, whatever. But then
At the
I'm
time, it looked
pretty
great.
sure,
Like, damn.
I'm pretty sure Manny was thinking, wait a second. He's offering me 40 mil, but 0% of the pay-per-view. Then that makes him think if he's willing to pay me that much, then that means it's going to generate, it's going to generate a hell of a lot more than that. Exactly. He's going to walk away with like 150 million.
Yeah, and look, think about it. 10 years, where they say history repeats itself, this is the same smear, this is the same thing, and people are running with it because they know people are gullible. They'll just run with any story. Oh, he got 55. It's like, bro, that's what I'm telling you. What is this fight worth? We don't know, but we can assume it's at least double. It's a hell of a lot more than whatever measly crumbs they were trying to offer him, especially if Eddie Hearn has connections to Saudi, and he says, Canelo, I can get you
that's kind of
triple
weird.
that.
That's kind of weird then, because if they were aware that the fight is that much or whatever, then I mean you would think that PBC would have did everything they could to throw the money at Canelo for it to make it stick, which makes me think I'm still confused about what the hell PBC was doing.
Well, they weren't doing it. To me, what it looks like is they're just playing a media game. Like, I don't know if you ever watched the HBO show called Succession. It's just like these two news groups, and they're just battling. You know, like Fox and NBC, like right. CSNBC, they do these smear campaigns against each other. It's just like trying to control the narrative. That's all it is.
Well, wait a second.
Control the narrative.
But it's not a narrative that Canelo is leaving and that Bud left though. Or is it?
You can make him look bad. You could build David's star power. You could build his this whole mystique and get him more money.
I mean, I get that, bro. I get that, but I also like they also have to understand that also when you start lying and you start getting caught in your lies, people are going to see that too. I get what you're saying, and I get it's a smear campaign. It's a smear campaign, and it's a way to build up David or to even build up the fight even more. But not everybody thinks the same, and not everybody looks at everything the same, which is how I started my live. I can tell you right now, when I see one camp and they're saying that Canelo is running and all this type of shit, and then I find them, catch them in some lies or some shady shit, it makes me question other things. Like, well, if you're lying about that, what else are you lying about? That's just me. But not everybody's gonna look at that because, like you said, a lot of people are gullible. A lot of people are gullible and won't even see that. They'll just be like, look, Canelo's running scared. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And again, man, I mean, really, this is all going to play out, and we just really have to see how it plays out. Like, we don't even know the next opponent. But I only thing I'm just saying, I don't think he's a duck. I don't think he's ducking Benavidez. I think it's a smart move, and I don't know if he's going to fight him, but if he does, one thing I can promise, if he does, the number that they're throwing out is going to dwarf this. Just remember that. So the people that are putting the smear smut on his name and he ducked for this, like you said about Manny, Manny got like 100 M's for that, or like Floyd got 100 M's. He brags about it. Manny probably got, I don't know, 80, like double. So this is what it is. When this number comes out, just remember those people that they called him a duck and said that he was running away from this fight.
Yeah.
And this is like a bigger boxing thing too, right? Like once this domino falls, then you're gonna get Bud Crawford. We'll see what happens with Jaron Ennis, but I think we're gonna see the outcome of Ryan and Haney. I think a lot more fights are gonna happen.
Wait, so before you get off, Ed, because I'm gonna end the live soon. I got a question though. If this is all a smear campaign, or a lot of it is a smear campaign, then how much truth is coming to with? PBC's crumbling right before our eyes.
Well, yeah, they don't have any fights. I mean, they don't a schedule, and all their fights are on pay-per-view. Yeah. So I mean, that could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. There's a lot of rumors, but who do they even have that's relevant? I mean, Fulton got beat. Well, Charlas are not even active.
Now that's what didn't make any sense to me, bro. People say that they were in a lose-lose situation, right? and I'm looking at it like this. So you're in a lose-lose situation. Okay, I can tell you right now what's the worst thing that could happen to you. The worst thing that could happen to you is you lose Canelo and Crawford. It's the worst thing that could have happened to you, bro. I mean, especially Canelo. Not having Canelo on that platform, to me, is the worst thing that you could have did. Because even if you think, okay, I'm going to save this money, right? Well, now who do you have? Are you going to have Tank fight 4 times this year?
Right. I forgot
Right?
Tank. I
What are you
just
going
didn't
to have?
mention
We
him
going to have
because
Tank fight 4 times? Come on. And look, and if he is going to fight 4 times, who is he going to
that's the
fight?
other part. They don't want to pay anybody. They said, I guess they lowballed Frank Martin like for 200 grand. There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot going on, man. I mean, it's a lot of not fighting though. That's the bad thing.
Yeah, that's the bad
It's
thing.
a whole lot
And
of not fighting.
that's why, Frank, I don't understand. Like, people, I do understand a little bit why some people are like, it's a good thing PBC is going down because of this stuff that we're talking about right now. You know, they're trying to, you know, fuck people out of their money and this and that and this and that. But I'm also looking at it like, yeah, but you act like next Wednesday, like if they crumbled right now, like next Wednesday, everything's going to be fixed. All these fighters are going to be over in other networks.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
going to take a while, bro. Like you don't just
will.
leave and go, hey, the zone, I'll be there Friday, have my contract ready. No, there's a lot of fighters under PBC or associated with PBC or fighting under that banner. And not only
Tank,
that, but you got to understand
Frank
that
Martin.
when it comes to business, look at this. When it comes to business, you can't always just walk away either. You can't always just walk away because you're bound to a contract. Like Ryan tried to walk away from the zone a couple times, right?
Yeah, he was
With Oscar. He tried that a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Oscar kind of made it clear in so many words. Nah, brother. Nah. It ain't working like that.
Well, that's the part about fighter empowerment, man. It's like we want these guys to make the fights. We want them to do all these things, you know, but when they don't move how you want them to move, now they're a piece of shit. It's like there's just a lot of moving parts that we as fans have to kind of take into account. Like with David Morrell, like like that's a thing, dude. Is like I don't really look at it like that. I just want to see these guys make good fights. You know, David Morrell. I want to see Tank. I want to see Morrell. I think when people take it, you're bashing PBC. It's like you don't like their fighters. Like, no, we just want to see them fight. I don't care if you're with PBC. I like the fighters they have. I want to see them fight.
Right, and that's how I am when it comes to Bud Crawford. I'm just trying to see him fight because I mean he's knocked out everybody that he's faced at welterweight. So I mean, I just want to see him fight. I don't want to see him on the shelf. I don't want to see no fighter on the shelf, bro. And that's another thing too. That if this is happening the way that everything it's looking like it's happening, fact of the matter is that a lot of this stuff is going to get it's like you said, people are going to get shelved. Fights are not going to happen, and people that were supposed to fight mandatories or people that are champions, if they have belts or whatever it is, all that gets stalled. And you got it because people got to get paid. And if a promotional company is going down, especially for money issues or whatever, or if it's just going to go down, period, then even though at the end of the day the fighters will be okay, that doesn't happen overnight. It's like saying, we're shutting down this company, but don't worry, these workers will be okay because they're all going to find jobs somewhere else. Yeah, but you act like next Wednesday they're going to be working there.
Right,
like,
right.
It doesn't work like that, you know? So you over here celebrating and shit, but like you act like, I mean, unless they know something that I don't. I do understand the whole, it's about time, maybe, you know, because of their tactics and how they've been operating for such a long period of time. And I think people still remember that the year before last year they had a historical, in my opinion, historical as far as the fights that they put on, even though a lot of these fights were one-sided, like Tio and Taylor in a way, Fulton, you know what I mean? A lot of these fights were one-sided. They still put on a lot of good fights, right? And people are probably looking at it like, why did you wait till now? Why did you wait till now? In the year before, you're giving us you're giving us Ortiz versus Ruiz on pay-per-view and Wilder versus Helenius or whatever they were doing before, when they were giving us all these fights that technically you could have shown on Showtime on a Saturday night, that comes with being under Showtime or having Showtime for cable or Showtime as an app, versus people paying $80 for these fights. people got that sour taste in their mouth. And that's why a lot of people, even though they had a historic year last year, people overlook that because they see all the other shit that they were doing.
That's a good point. This will be my last point, but just to answer that, just to kind of, like the story that we've heard these stories, Three Little Pigs, but they got it while the getting was good. They made a lot of dough. That's what Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman,
They did.
all these, they did. Okay. So you can't cry for them. So they got it while the getting was good. But what's the saying? It's like a Wall Street saying, pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered. This is where we're at. So if you ate too much, and then it's famine time. So, they enjoyed it, so
but certain fighters did, not all of them. We got, there's a lot, there was a handful of fighters that were open about Al. You know how everyone's got that, like, don't say, it's like WWE, don't say nothing about Vince,
right,
when Vince
Broner.
Right. Broner, what's his name? Gary Russell.
Oh yeah, he's another one. Yep.
Gary Russell was open about Al fucking him over. Broner don't care. So Broner's one of, there was a handful of people that were coming out saying, nah. I know how all these guys are like, I want to thank Al before I thank God, but not with me. And I think Broner made it clear. He's like, bro, give me my money. Bro, he had from what Broner's saying, Al Heyman had him on like a, how like
something.
Yeah, how like
allowance.
That's your money, right? I'm gonna give you an allowance, Broner. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you an allowance, Adrian. All right, you get this much a month, and he's like, bro, just give me my damn money. The
Broner don't seem like the most savvy cat though. But Art, thank you, man.
I appreciate you, man, for being
letting me
man.
on, and I'll catch you. I'll keep tuning in, man.
All right,
keep going, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man, for your support, man.
For sure.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Look, man, I'm gonna end it off right here, man. I appreciate y'all for being here, man. It's almost 2 hours, man. I guess the future will remain to be seen. What's going on with PBC? But with this community, shit changes daily. This shout out goes to next time I'm out. See y'all either tomorrow or the day after.